Welcome to the United Nations office at Nairobi, the only UN headquarters located in the Global South. Spanning 140 acres, UNON is the largest headquarter in the UN system. Established in 1974, the compound has rapidly evolved into a global hub, serving the UN and its agencies globally, regionally, and locally within an African context. Here, we proudly house two UN headquarters entities, the United Nations Environment Programme and the United Nations Human Settlements Programme, as well as over 50 other global, regional, and local UN agencies, funds, and programs. Annually, UNON facilitates approximately 4,000 high-level multilingual meetings and conferences, fostering collaboration and innovation on a global scale. Our conference facilities, now beyond their useful design lives, urgently require renovation and expansion to address their limited capacity and the deteriorating conditions in order to meet current demands. Recognizing this, the General Assembly has approved a transformative project to address these issues, marking this as a once-in-a-generation opportunity to reshape the central core and public face of the UNON Gigiri compound.
As we embark on this journey, we envision a revitalized conference facility where sustainability and accessibility are paramount. As the seat of environmental multilateralism, we'll use renewable sources to produce more energy than we consume, and we will ensure full accessibility for delegates, visitors, and staff. This unique conference space will facilitate collaborative problem-solving initiatives within the African context, addressing the interests and needs of communities across Africa, the Global South, and around the world.
The existing UNON conference facility, built in 1985, is now too small to accommodate the growth of UNEP and UN-Habitat, especially following the decision of the General Assembly in 2012 to expand from the former 58 to full universal membership. The 2,000-person capacity facility is inadequate for environment and habitat assembly meetings, often requiring temporary construction of additional tents. The trend of rapidly increasing attendance has continued, with UNEA 6 in February 2024 hosting almost 6,000 participants, including 170 ministerial-level delegates. Upgrading the facility will enhance its capacity and functionality, aligning it with modern health, safety, environmental, accessibility, and conference technology best practices.
The Gigiri Master Plan is really going to be seminal. It's really going to be crucial. We exist here to support Kenya's government and its people to achieve their sustainable development ambitions and the sustainable development goals. And having a support base, a premises, a platform from which to do that is 21st century, which is fit for purpose, is massively important to us.
We're building a conference facility that is going to be at par with New York and Geneva, that will allow meetings on the environment. The biggest power of the UN is the convening power, the ability to bring people to sit around the table.
We have been constrained by the realities of the confines of our rooms, and therefore this is a massive move forward for multilateralism, for environmentalism, and of course for the United Nations. It is important to have a place in the Global South, and I will say that we are here, we are proud of being here.
It'll be sort of a quiet form of architecture, if you will, minimalist architecture, which is in harmony and sort of harkens to the international style of the famous New York headquarters and other famous buildings, including the ones in Geneva. But it will be distinctly Kenyan, distinctly African, primarily by its relationship to the environment. We have a series of roofs that we're designing that in design terms appear to float above the landscape. For example, the assembly hall really looks more like a bonus, more like a traditional gathering space, which will give this space an extremely unique character. The experience that delegates will get when they're sitting in an assembly hall, which is on the one hand distinctly the United Nations, and there's an unmistakable sense of gravitas when you're in a space like that. But on the other hand, is really linked to nature. I hope for delegates it'll be quite energizing, and for sure they will understand that they are in a special place.
For the UN Information Service, this is a really exciting project. We don't see these kinds of projects anymore, generally around the world, and so we're so excited to be a part of it. I think it's an opportunity for us as the United Nations in Kenya, in Africa, to really open up the UN to people that are around here, who live around here, who can come here and see that this is their United Nations, that it works for them. They get to learn more about the United Nations norms, its activities, its aims, its impact, and to really feel that it speaks to them and the aspirations that they have for their own lives. So for me, this project about expanding the conference facility here is really about bringing the United Nations closer to the people that it serves on a continent that is very young and will only grow with a median age of 19. The United Nations needs to be relevant in Africa, and this is one of the amazing ways that it can actually do that.
The ultimate success of this conference project is going to be the work that member states do within the conference facility. And in that context, we shouldn't understate the achievements of the existing facility. This, this conference centre has seen, facilitated and supported some of the most important environmental multilateral agreements. I would hope to see something that astonishes.
To a certain extent, the General Assembly has already done its work. The stage has already been set. The General Assembly has approved the maximum overall cost, the implementation strategy, and the scope of the project. And now's the hard part. Now we have to deliver. And we're up to the challenge, and we're very excited about it.
We thank the General Assembly for approving the project and call for the continued active support of all stakeholders as we embark upon the Gigiri Master Plan, which will secure a safe, sustainable and accessible future for delegates, staff and visitors to the United Nations office at Nairobi.